First thing I would do is end these wars and bring our troops home. Right now, we talk about healthcare, and I was like, oh, health. You know, but healthcare is $1 trillion, they say, over 10 years. Well, I'm not for that. I mean, I think we're clear on that. I'm not really for the healthcare thing, but I'm definitely not for $1 trillion a year in foreign spending. We spend 66% of all the money that's spent on war or warfare is spent by the United States. Okay, why are we doing it? We need to bring that down. We need to start protecting just America, bring the troops home. We have troops in 700 bases in over 130 countries. You know, the other day there were some Chinese guys that patrol my neighborhood, and they were going through my neighborhood, and I stopped and I said, hey fellas, oh wait, I didn't, because I don't have Chinese people patrolling my neighborhood, and the reason is because that would be an act of war. But yet we do it in 130 countries. Was that a horrible joke? But I mean, that's the thing. We don't need to be the world's police. Switzerland has a completely hands-off approach. They spend almost nothing on foreign policy, and no one ever attacks Switzerland. They have an interesting policy of everybody gets a machine gun when they graduate from high school. But I mean, you can imagine, that keeps your country pretty safe. So, the thing of it is, the number one thing that I would cut would be our spending on our foreign policy. The second thing that I would cut would be I would start scaling down our welfare and healthcare style agendas that we have going on right now. Because if you look at our budget, then you're going to see that those two things are the only things that are really matter. Like the Department of Energy, though, is $24 billion a year for what? What have they done? We used to, when they started it to get us off foreign oil, we were at 70%, we were importing, 20% of our oil from foreign countries. And then, now, it's years later, we spent $24 billion a year on the Department of Energy, and we import 70% of our oil. So what have we been spending our money on? These guys apparently have the Department of make sure we don't get any new energy resources. I guess that's what it takes to keep people from competing and actually building cars that could run on something else. It takes $24 billion a year to keep those people down.
Question?
Okay, I had a question. You're talking about, you know, like limiting government and stuff like that. Are you also for like limiting how much we actually export and doing more, making everything here?
No.
Instead of
free market. If people say that libertarians are isolationists, it's completely not true. We don't want to be in other people's business. You know why? Because that's other people's business. But we do want to trade with anybody that wants to trade. So if anybody wants to trade with us, we're willing. We'll trade with anybody. I think, economically speaking, because I don't know how much time we have, I want to say that there are books by Hazlitt, there are books by Rothbard, Friedman, and then, of course, Friedrich Hayek. These are all economics books, and most of the stuff that I say, actually, as crazy as I sound, comes from these books, where they won Nobel Prizes over the things that they were saying. But the point of it is that yeah, it's a free trade. Like right now, you'd be punishing the poor to hold back on our imports, because people want to they have a better quality of life by having this cheaper thing, or a cheaper TV. A flat screen TV made in America might cost $3,000, whereas made in China, it might cost $400. So you just cost some guy $2,600 by having these import tariffs. So free trade is important. And the thing about it is, we don't understand, if we're trying to prop up this system, we're trying to just keep putting money into this bubble that needs to crash. Well, if we'd allow everything to kind of come out, we'd actually be improving the lives of the people in China, and then we'd bring production back to the United States when there's some sort of balance.